if there's any of you who haven't seen this interview yet, stop this video, go watch this interview. It's on IFL's channel. Eddie Hearn gives out a lot of very interesting information. He goes in on Lennox Lewis again. The first time wasn't a mistake. He's coming for Lennox Lewis's neck. He talks about DeGale Eubank, and he also says, of course, he's going to bid for Wilder Fury if it goes to purse bids, the rematch. But most interestingly is he makes public formal offers to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua. He gives them percentage splits. He's offered them both 60-40 to fight Anthony Joshua in April at Wembley. Now, that is an extremely generous offer for both those fighters to face AJ. In all fairness, we do not know what the terms are for 60-40. All we know is the percentage split. So there could be strings attached to that 60-40, maybe some unreasonable strings. We don't know until Fury or Wilder come out and give their side of the story. But just in terms of the percentage split, 60-40 is extremely generous for both of them. Why is it extremely generous? Well, because 40% is 4/5. Okay? Neither is 4/5 of 50%, obviously. Neither Deontay Wilder nor Tyson Fury makes 4/5 as much as Anthony Joshua per fight. So why should they get 4/5 as much as Joshua to fight him? That is an extremely generous offer. Deontay Wilder particularly should be biting Eddie Hearn's hand off to get 40% against Anthony Joshua. Yeah, that's what he should be doing if he's at all serious about being the one face, one name, one champion. He should be ripping Hearn's hand off for that 40%. And Tyson Fury, same way. You see, Frank Warren came out and dismissed Eddie Hearn's offer to Tyson Fury as a derisory offer. Eddie Hearn went directly to Tyson Fury. He didn't go to Frank Warren. And Eddie Hearn claims in this interview the reason that he gave Tyson Fury a flat fee offer is because that's what Tyson Fury asked for. He asked for a flat fee. You see, Frank Warren, according to Eddie Hearn, is not privy to this, which is why he's coming out talking about, oh, it's a derisory offer. Frank Warren's the one peddling this 50-50 nonsense. If you're talking 50-50, Frank, you're not serious about the fight. Or you're so worried about the fight, you're so worried about Tyson Fury losing, you want to make that extra fifth. You want to make that extra fifth because you see it as such an enormous risk, Fury fighting AJ. Yeah. Or you just straight up don't want the fight because you know Eddie Hearn said in this interview, 50-50 ain't going to happen. Neither Tyson Fury nor Deontay Wilder is going to get 50-50 against AJ right now. Why the hell should they? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is absurd. What Eddie Hearn did say, though, is if Tyson Fury is able to beat Deontay Wilder and do above a certain number of pay-per-views for the rematch, then he would entertain 50-50. He'd entertain the possibility. He didn't flat out say, yeah, he'll definitely get 50-50, but he'll entertain the possibility. So, Eddie Hearn has made a statement of intent here, people. Offering extremely generous percentage splits. You see, a lot of people like to talk, but actions speak louder than words. Let's see if Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are actually for real, because if they are for real, once they see this interview and they hear about 60-40, if they are not going back to Eddie Hearn with extreme interest, then they simply do not want the Anthony Joshua fight. It's as simple as that. They don't want to fight. Another thing is Tyson Fury. He has really less excuse not to take this offer because with Deontay Wilder, the WBC have now ordered him to fight Tyson Fury. They've ordered it. The implication being he could be stripped if he doesn't take the Fury fight. Whereas Tyson Fury, for him, it's take it or leave it. He doesn't have to fight Wilder in a rematch. He could go the Joshua route if he wants to. To my knowledge, there is nothing which contractually obligates him to fight Deontay Wilder again. I mean, he doesn't hold any belts. What can the WBC do to him? Are they going to take him to court if he doesn't follow through with a rematch? I mean, I've never seen that happen with a so-called mandatory challenger. And again, I'm going to do a separate video when it comes to the WBC and their mandatory rules, because they appear to just make them up as they go along. Dominic Breazeale is supposed to be the mandatory. How long's he been waiting for? Over a year. And now they've made Fury jump the queue in front of Breazeale and in front of Dillian. I mean, the WBC is an absolute joke when it comes to this mandatory situation, but I'll cover that in a different video. So as far as I'm aware, Tyson Fury can turn his back on the Deontay Wilder fight if he wants to and go and fight AJ on April 13th for 60-40. Let's see if he's for real. Let's see if he's as confident as he makes himself out to be. Because Tyson Fury has turned fights down before. I mean, I'm sure most of you will remember in the early part of Tyson Fury's career when he vacated the British title instead of taking on David Price. You guys remember this? At the time, Tyson Fury was nowhere near as good as he is now. Okay? Tyson Fury was coming off a very, very shaky performance against Nevin Pikage. That's when he was ordered to fight his mandatory for the British title, David Price. He was dropped in the Pikage fight. At this point in time, most of the British boxing public felt like David Price would beat Tyson Fury. Facts. Tyson Fury's people offered David Price a flat fee. David Price turned the flat fee down and said, no, let's let it go to purse bids. Fury was offering Price a flat fee to fight on Channel 5. And David Price, who at the time was fighting on Sky, he said, no, let's let it go to purse bids and the highest bidder will put the fight on wherever they want to put it on. But before it could go to purse bids, Tyson Fury pulled out and said he was moving on to bigger and better things because he's ranked number 7 in the world. So what were those bigger and better things that Tyson Fury said he was going to move on to? Well, his very next fight after dropping the British title was against Martin Rogan for the Irish title. So he didn't take a step up and a step forward. He took a step backwards. Fighting Martin Rogan for the Irish is a step backwards from fighting David Price for the British. At the time, David Price was undefeated. And again, most people in Britain felt like Price would beat Fury at that time. I know it's crazy to think back at that, given how David Price's career has panned out, but, you know, Tyson Fury back then isn't the Tyson Fury of today. The point I'm making is Tyson Fury and his promoter at the time, Mick Hennessy, were making out, particularly Mick Hennessy, was making out as though David Price didn't really want to fight, which is absurd. Tyson Fury continued to badmouth David Price in the media, call him a big stiff idiot and a plumber and all this other kind of stuff. And, you know, talk about moving on to bigger and better things. And, you know, he basically just misled the public in terms of the real reasons that he avoided the fight. Was it that his confidence was low following the Nevin Pikage fight where he got dropped by a guy with only about 5 KOs on his record? And this was also around the time when he was sparring Dillian Whyte. And Whyte claims to have dropped Tyson Fury a bunch of times in sparring, something which Tyson Fury has never denied, by the way. Yeah, he's never denied it. There was a tweet that Tyson Fury put out in response to Dillian Whyte's tweet where Dillian Whyte said, I'm going to take your place fighting Deontay Wilder if you pull out. I knocked you down a bunch of times in sparring and I'm going to take your place. And all Tyson Fury said to that is, only in your dreams or only in dreams. And some people have said, see, that's Fury responding to the claims that Dillian Whyte knocked him down multiple times and denying it. No, it's not him denying it. Fury didn't make it clear what he was talking about. Whether he was talking about, whether he was referring to Dillian Whyte saying that he would take his place against Wilder. Is that what he meant, only in your dreams? Or was he talking about the knockdowns? He has never categorically denied that Dillian Whyte dropped him those times. And again, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because maybe Tyson Fury's confidence was particularly low at that time. If he's been dropped by Nevin Pikage, we know that happened, and dropped multiple times by Dillian Whyte in sparring, and then he's got this David Price mandatory thrust upon him, and David Price at the time was unbeaten and a big puncher, maybe Tyson Fury just didn't fancy it at the time. Maybe his confidence wasn't there. Or maybe he was tied to Channel 5 contractually. Maybe he couldn't, because of contractual obligations, fight on a different platform. But either way, whatever the case may be, whatever the real reason was for pulling out of the David Price fight, I think we can all agree that it had nothing to do with being number 7 in the world and it's time to move on, because he fought Martin Rogan next. And for his promoter at the time, Mick Hennessy, to say David Price didn't want to fight, I mean, who really believes that? So Tyson Fury has a history of, saying things that are not necessarily true. We'll see what Tyson Fury does now, because he's been talking about, Anthony Joshua don't really want to fight and his fight's never going to happen. Well, you got an offer now, Tyson. Let's see. Let's see if you're for real, because people do a lot of talking. Let's see what the actions are saying. Actions speak louder than words. Tyson Fury is a fantastic fighter, but he's a human being. He does tell lies, just like 99.9% of human beings do. He can be a little manipulative when it comes to trying to steer the public narrative, just like many fighters can. Very good fighter. And I'm not saying Tyson Fury is a bad human being at all. But, some of his fans make him out to be the second coming of Jesus. Acting like he can walk on water and turn water into wine and the man can do no wrong, which is an absurd way to look at him, isn't it? Any reasonable person would agree that it is. So anyway, again, if you haven't seen this, have a watch of it. Let me know what you think. Eddie Hearn offering both Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 60-40 against Anthony Joshua. Let's see if either one of them are serious about fighting him. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.